What? Humanity. 5 cents reality. I owe it all to David and AJ. And therefore, we will sing this in our mirth.
The paradigm of absolute control. And that's why we're just out here doing simple things, pointing out that
singing this song, literally. So it's a hit. I don't know what else to say. When I come out with my LP drops, there's gonna be a version of this on it. So yes, be happy. What else do you expect? What do you want? You're getting what you want. Come on. Oh yeah. Well, I tried to tell you so, but I guess you didn't know. As the saddest story goes, baby, now I got the flow, 'cause I knew it from the start. Baby, when you broke my heart, that I had to come again and show you that I'm real. You lied to me. All those times I said that I loved you. Lied to me. Yes, I tried. Yes, I tried. Lied to me. Even though you know I'd die for you. Yes, I cried. Yes, I cried. Here it is. Come on. Oh my gosh. Here I am. Once again. Top of the world. Here I go. So I'm back up in the game. Running things to take my swing. Letting all the people know that I'm back to run the show. 'Cause what they did, you know, was wrong. All the nasty things you've done. So baby, listen carefully while I sing my comeback song. You lied to me. She said she'd never turn on me. You lied to me. But you did. But you did. You lied to me. All this pain you said I'd never feel. But I do. But I do. Here it is. Hold on. Don't you know? Here I go. A little girl, once my pearl. Up and down, round and round. Yes.
Stop worrying about your big break.
I already had my big break. 1 million views.
I need a real man.
The return of the Mac. You lied to me. She said she'd never turn on me. But you did. But you did. All this pain you said I'd never feel. But I do. But I do. Here it is. Come on. Oh my gosh. Here I am. All right, welcome. We all warmed up now. We turned up and we warmed up. I got my coffee. I got my lesbian spectacles. I got my Fabio hair. I got my E-Diva confirmed status. We broke 1 million views on the video for the first time ever. I got my FUBU jeans. I got my Jinko jeans on top of those FUBU jeans. I got them in reverse in honor of Crisscross. Daddy Mac, Mac Daddy. Daddy Mac, Mac Daddy. Let's get into it. What are the top 5 weird occult music videos in tonight's party stream? You might think, Jay, why have you not covered music videos? I don't know. I kept thinking I need to do it for all these years. I would always get distracted with movies, other topics, and so we just never did. I'm not really sure why. We should have. One thing I noticed, though, as I was preparing different clips and videos for this evening's show, a lot of the videos that you think about don't actually have a lot of esoteric symbolism. There's a lot of videos with demonic imagery, And a lot of people were suggesting videos. I got tons of comments. Hey, cover this, do this. I'm not specifically wanting and looking for videos that just have demonic imagery. I'm looking for pop songs and the pop video that goes with it that has symbolism related to the occult and the esoteric. So that actually kind of narrows things. Actually, if you're not aware, it narrows things down quite a bit because not a lot of videos have a lot of esoteric symbolism. They just kind of degrade into the point of where we get, Lil Nas X basically grinding on, gay Satan. There's not a lot of symbolism in that. It's just pretty much straight up faking gay, right? So I sat down and I tried to come up with the most bizarre esoteric symbol videos. And I think I have a good little collection here to start with. There are many more. I'm sure my super duper high IQ audience, and I'm not being facetious, we have the highest IQ audience on the internet by far. Some of the smartest creativist people on the internets are in my audience, I'm proud to say. So feel free to request and mention music videos that I've forgotten or that I've overlooked, because I'm sure there's plenty that you guys recall and know about that I don't know. So we have 5 that I've chosen, and then we've got a subcategory of 3 that I think are like the most kind of just demonic. So because those videos didn't have a whole lot of symbolism, but yet still made the cut for being just straight up demonic, we're going to look at some of those. Obviously, I can't play the videos because it will trigger the algorithm pretty quickly. And as you guys know, that will basically make the stream have no views. So we are going to look at the symbolism in the first video, which you might be surprised. You might think, well, it's odd that you chose that one. Now, it doesn't actually end up being as... This one is one of the ones that should be in just the demonic category, but it ends up making it into the symbolism category because it was just so kind of unexpected. If you don't know, Timberlake, who has been viral of recent note due to his loss of dancing skills. I don't know if you saw the video going viral where he was dancing like a dad, and it looks like he doesn't have his dancing skills anymore, and he was kind of dadcore, and people were making fun of him because he was trying to look like Justin Timberlake was in 2000, like 20 years ago. I don't know. I never really followed Timberlake, but he is actually from Memphis, so he's a fellow Tennessean, and he, remember Dirty Pop? That's one of the stupidest, most ridiculous pop songs that, in my mind, all of those blend together. I have, in my mind, no distinguishing capabilities for 98 Degrees, NSYNC, Backstreet. They're all the same band to me. And I think most heterosexual dudes feel the same way. I don't know anything about any of that. The only song I remember is, what's the deal with this pop life and when's gonna play out? Dirty, dirty, dirty pop. Ooh, 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 ooh. And isn't that one of the ones where Timberlake busts off with a bunch of beatboxing? Whoa, Timberlake's over there beatboxing, dude. White boys also have the skills, bro. Remember that? What's the deal with this pop life? When's it gonna play out? The audience is like, what? What? Is this Timberlake with Fabio hair? Is Timberlake wearing a Fabio wig? What the heck, dude? No, I am me. Anyway, under the bridge downtown is where I found Timberlake. Under the bridge downtown. I hate that song so much. Everyone loves that song. I have always hated that song. I've never really liked, and I know that they have esoteric themes and conspiracy themes. I already know that. I knew this all in the 90s, bro. Roller coaster of love. Blood Sugar Sex Magic. That's Crowleyan, of course. I just never liked that stupid song. Take me to the place I love. Take me all the way. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. The only song I like is Roller Coaster of Love, I guess. I just can't stand it. They would play these songs in the 90s until you were just ready to vomit, dude. Some kind of weird, like, workplace MK Ultra program where you have to listen to the same radio songs over and over. And you've heard me bitch about this. You guys know this. We've bitched about this many, many times. But it never gets old for me to bitch about butt rock bands, to bitch about freaking Hootie, dude. Freaking Hootie. Well, I tell you what, when I see Darius, when I see my boy Darius Rucker, when I see Dontarius Rucker, he's about to come in face-to-face confrontation with Cobra. How about that? Because I have a few words, a few choice words, a strongly worded in-person fist letter for Darius Rucker, okay? Because I feel like I was put under some sort of workplace MK Ultra mind control, and that Darius participated in that in the 1990s. You know what I'm saying? You went in the back to get high. I sat on the roof and just cried. I felt sorry for myself. Let her cry. As the tears rolled down my face, let her cry. I don't even know the lyrics to that stupid song. I probably heard that song infinite times, though, in my life, right? Hold my hand? What the hell kind of stuff is this? Somebody said their cat's grunting. Exactly. Not because of me. Because your kitty, yo pussy know what's up with Dontarius Rucker. Yo pussy's over there like, damn, tell that boy to stop singing Darius Rucker. Darius Ruckus. When I meet up with Darius, it's gonna be we're gonna have a Darius Ruckus in the house. When I meet up with him, we're gonna have a throwdown. Shit. Y'all don't even know. What are even the other ones? What the hell is even that? What the hell is even these other songs? From damn Hootie and the Blowfish. What's he saying about dolphins? You let the dolphins make you cry, but there's nothing I can do. Only want to be with you. The dolphins make you cry. A lot of men's crying. A lot of men's that's crying in the videos. You know what I'm saying? He's singing about a lot of men's weepings. Like that cat over there grunting. He's gone country. Pimped out boots. He's gone country. His name is Darius. Yeah. He's gone country. With them golden boots. What's that other... When are they going to start calling out them old country songs for racism? Remember that one song? My baby, she's a Chippewa Hall. She's one of a kind. Right? Right? Jamie? What's that one stupid country song? My baby, she's a Chippewa Hall. She's a one of a kind. Bum, bum, bum. Indian outlaw, half Cherokee and Choctaw. My baby, she's a Chippewa. She's one of a kind. Bam, bam, bam. Yeah, that's racist. But shut that down. Shut that shit down right now. Y'all get on Twitter and shut him down. Cancel Tim McGraw. Hashtag cancel Tim McGraw. Larry Nichols said cancel Tim McGraw. It's racist. Hillary's a witch. Way down yonder on the Chattahoochee, it gets hotter than a hoochie coochie. You know what that's talking about? You know what that's talking about? A cryptid. So y'all thought hoochie coochie was referring to the JJs. No, that's actually a cryptid in the Georgia area. Y'all don't even know that. Y'all ain't even know. Shania Twain. Okay, so you're a rocket scientist. That don't impress me much. Oh. Got the brains, but have you got the touch? That won't, don't get me wrong, yeah, I think you're alright. That won't keep me warm in the middle of those long, cold, stormy nights. That don't impress me much. Oh. Is that good? The audience, that's hot. No, my singing was hot, not her. My singing was fire. All right, enough of that. We got to get into it. Oh yeah, I was gonna sing honky tonk, but donka donk. Keeping perfect rhythm while she make me sing along. Got it going on like Donkey Kong. Ooh, shut my mouth. That's the stupidest country song ever, dude. Country Bumpkin J. We say grace, we say man, if you ain't into that, we don't give a damn. Singing song of the South, sweet potato pie and I shut my mouth. Gone, go the wind, ain't nobody looking back again. You like how I did that mashup? I just blew your mind with a damn country smash up that y'all didn't, it just flew over everybody's head. Worst country song ever. Is it Honky Tonk Badonka Donk, or is it oh, what's that stupid, I hate Alabama, dude. I can't stand Alabama. What's that Alabama song about the freaking baseball? That's the worst country song ever. That's so dumb, dude. The lyrics, I remember having to listen to that on the bus. Riding the bus in 6th grade. 7th grade. Having to hear that stupid Alabama song every day. Because the bus driver would play Froggy. Right? Froggy. And then it would be, we like our beers flat as can be. We like our dogs with mustard and relish. We got a great pitcher, what's his name? I can't even spell it. Well, there's nothing like the view from the cheap seats. That's the worst country song of all time. Find me a worse country song. There's actually an equally dumb country song that actually is okay because it's so dumb. And that is Aaron Tippin. How many of y'all remember Aaron Tippin? We got any boys in the audience that remember Aaron Tippin? This is like some straight up 90s damn country. We getting country right now with the 90s. People are like, what's happening right now? I went into a mode of thinking about the 90s and all of that damn country that I was subjected to throughout the 90s. Does anybody remember Aaron Tippin? Aaron Tippin had that song about but there ain't nothing wrong with the radio. Remember that one? Anyway, that one was pretty dumb. I tell you what, the worst 90s song, I was reminded of this. I totally remember the B-52s. I totally forgot the B-52s until the other day. And I have no idea how they came up. I think they popped up when I was playing music on YouTube. And then it was like 90s stuff. And then the beef. Remember that? Achy Break Your Heart is pretty bad. I will grant you Achy Break. But I think worst country songs are, what's that one? www. something. That's one of the worst. Alabama singing about hot dogs and baseball players and relish is one of the worst. No, 3 Non-Blondes, that ain't country. What you talking about? Oh, no, B-52s, dude. I got me a Chrysler, it seats about 20. So come along and bring your jukebox money. The Love Shack is a little old place where we can get together. Right? Love Shack, baby. The Love Shack, baby. That is one of the worst 90s songs. Anyway. We got to get out of the 90s. We got to get out of the 90s. We got to come up to the present times. The present times with your boy Timberlake. Not Timberland, not Drake, Timberlake. The smoothest, beatboxingest white boy of all of the 90s boy bands. I'm talking about JT. I'm talking about JT. Not JTT. I know a lot of you ladies in the audience is like, ooh, Jonathan Taylor Thomas gonna be on here? No, JT, not JTT. I need to get my ears cleaned out. I need to get my ears turned up. Now, this Timberlake song, I did not like it. Jamie was like, you gotta go play Justin JT's new video. Okay, I played it. It is the first of today's selections because it doesn't have the most esoteric symbolism. It just straight up has demonic possession. Just like straight up, like just the demonic. So this one just wins the competition of number 5 of the whole list, not the best, because so JT pulls up. He's still got his game. He's still out here. He's fully dadcore now though. So. He's got his grays dyed. You can't see no grays. He lost a little bit of that dad bod beer gut that he had a few months ago for this video. So they tidied him up a bit. So he goes up in this club. You can find him in the club. Where dadcore Timberlake at? He in the club. He up in the club. Go find him in the club. And it's this sort of weird Turkish-ish, almost a sort of like, I don't know, it has a vibe of like a Jeff Stein McEffrey Island temple or something, right? And so, JT walks up in there. And, he's still got it. He's still bopping around, although nobody seems to realize who he is. So there's Ice Spice right there with that nasty Ronald McDonald hair. He goes up to the bar, get me a drink, and then he says, "Oh, look over there on the dance floor. Who's that hot little number doing that little snaky dance over on the dance floor?" So he slinks his way on over there, JT style. I keep saying JTT, but again, remember he doesn't really dance like he used to anymore. So he just kind of like he just lets chicks grind on him. That's his new form of quote dancing. So he just kind of lets this I don't know, what's Josephine Baker looking chick start rubbing up on him and twerking on him. Okay, so boring ass video. How many times? We've seen 1,000,000 times. JT and other players at the club. Nothing. Why is he's wearing damn pearls like a grandma? Forget dadcore. Look at that. He's got your grandma's pearls on, dude. He went full grandma core. JT jumped from freaking boy band core straight to dad core with freaking cargo pants and couldn't dance like 6 months ago, right? Remember that viral video? And then he just leapt into damn grandma core wearing grandma's pearl necklace. That's freaking, what the heck is that? That's lame, dude. At least get a damn puka shell necklace. At least it's masculine. Over here wearing grandma's pearls. Yo, it's a tribute to my grandma. That's a tribute to my grandma. Isn't it funny how rap and hip hop, the stuff that was supposed to be so damn masculine, bro. Oh, turns out it's all fake and gray, dude. Diddy done got exposed. It's all fake and gray, dude. Scissors are all. See, you try to play too much. This is just alcohol. When you're like a kid, this is alcohol. Y'all saw that clip, right? Anyway, so damn Timberlake done sold out to grandma. The Illuminati was like, you gotta wear damn grandma core pearls and get vomited on by demons, and then we'll let you come back. Only then can you have a comeback. And Timberlake was like, yes, masters, let me have it. So he's dancing, and he begins to notice on the balcony is alternate dark JT, right? So he has this alter persona, which I'm assuming is the replacement JT. The demonic synthioid clone replacement. All the black dudes will be like, oh, dude, that's a clone, bro. They done cloned JT, bro. All the rappers who got replaced with clones, right? Anyway, I'm being silly. It's not really a clone. But the alter persona here, who JT notices, right? He's sacrificing, I guess, the previous self for a new JT image. I mean, if you talk to him, I'm sure he would give you some lame, yo, I was just trying to get rid of my my old image. You know, I was killing my old image to take on a freaking gay spy in a 1960s spy film with a freaking turtleneck image. I mean, like, what is he supposed to be here? This is the devil. I gotta return to my dark side. I gotta integrate my dark side like Carl Gujon. Right? So he's dancing. He starts to notice that he's under the spell, and then as he dances, this chick cuts his face, and he looks over, and everybody's possessed. Interesting. And then they start. He's sort of trapped in this. If it goes full on Lost Boys, right? I mean, we're straight up. You know, we're in Kiefer Sutherland's lair, basically. It goes full demonic Lost Boys situation going on here. Michael. Then this thing manifests into full on TRANZ creature. I mean, full Karelin. Okay, Josephine Baker goes full Karelin here, and is of course doing a full on real, you know, LaVeyan Satanism version of the hook'em horns. And then you're thinking, well, that's kind of lame. Then she vomits black goo all over JT's face. What? Now, in a lot of conspiracy stuff, I think there's a symbiotic, you know, feedback loop going on with a lot of music videos and the art direction that goes into the music videos and what the people are interested in. They are at times interested in Crowleyanism, Satanism, etc. So there is that component. Probably many of them take it somewhat seriously. Many of them are into, you know, witchcraft, this kind of stuff. But the symbiotic regurgitation relationship I'm talking about is that I think a lot of times stuff that's in conspiracy culture ends up in music videos, and then what's in music videos then cycles back into the conspiracy culture. So it's sort of this self-perpetuating engine that keeps feeding itself. I'm not calling out conspiracy people, but I mean, come on, how many? I mean, we've been talking about, you know, all seeing eyes in music videos since 2005, right? I mean, it's been a minute, okay, almost 20 years of talking about this. But the theme of black goo is its own kind of weird little radical niche conspiracy, much like clones and, you know, replacing rappers with clones or whatever. That's, you know, it's kind of this wild, ridiculous side of the spectrum. I don't think that black goo is real. I do think black goo is used in music videos to have symbolism. It's typically a kind of black baptism. A baptism into the demonic is usually what you see. People are dunked into bathtubs full of black goo. In fact, Doja Cat's video, I forget which one. It's The Shining, but she's dunked into a bathtub of black goo, and then she becomes visibly possessed. And that's not my interpretation. There's a giant demon in the bathtub with her that possesses her. So you'll find this black goo theme, and in the conspiracy world, you have these kind of oddball figures like Harold Katzweiler. Have you heard of Harold Katzweiler? The black goo. There is the black goo, which is the sentience of inside the earth. The Mother Earth has within her the black goo, which is the nanotech. And the nanotech is the alien entity which will take over. The black goo, right? I don't believe there is sentient black goo inside of the earth that is an alien entity. Now, there could be nanotech. We're all familiar with the possibility of nanotech turning into gray goo. It used to be gray goo, right? So you would get these transhumanist Silicon Valley people would write essays in Wired magazine about how gray goo will take over when nanotech becomes sentient, right? And so it's usually tied into goofy transhumanist stuff. And then conspiracy people read the goofy transhumanists who are basically just glorified or failed science fiction writers, and then they think, well, it's real, so that there's going to be it exists because Silicon Valley thinks it might be real one day. But you will find, as you guys are noting, yes, the theme of black goo has been present all the way back to X-Files and before. The sentient black goo is, of course, one of the means by which, in the X-Files mythos, the aliens are attempting to, take over, and they mind control people. It gets inside Krychek, right? We know all this. Everybody's seen X-Files. So it's a prevalent theme in conspiracy videos. However, it was odd to see it here in such an overtly bizarre demonic context where a giant Josephine Baker Carellin vomits into the mouth of JT, and it's just gross. And then JT gets devoured by all of the demons. So, I mean, not a lot of symbolism, but it was unexpected. So I'm watching the video and it's like, okay, Timberlake's talking about how everybody in pop music is some sort of compromised person, and then it just turns into total demonic stuff. So that was kind of gross and weird. Rihanna has a similar video. I'm not going to play it because it doesn't have a whole lot in it except for this notion of, again, pop stars being possessed. That's about it in this video. She's undergoing disturbia and she keeps sort of freaking out and what appears to be dissociating. So this, I think, fuels the symbiotic relationship between the conspiracy person and the art direction within the videos. So anyway, yes, I'm aware of this one. Jamie pointed this one out to me as well. And I'm not going to play this video, but in the same vein of videos that are not that symbolic, but just straight up demonic, right? We have the Doja Cat video, which plays on Paranormal Activity, Insidious, and Poltergeist. It's sort of all the horror movies in one, and then it has Christina Ricci in it as this mom who ends up with a demon infested house. And this is, there you see Doja Cat as a full-on demon. She then, is this the one with the bathtub? Yeah. So then it turns into The Shining, or sort of a Shining-ish bathroom. And then she is bathing with Satan in the black goo. She takes a black goo baptism. The demon, and then, as you can see, is also her tattoo, but then she has an all-seeing eye on the back of her head. And so, not a lot of symbolism in this. This is about all the symbolism there is. But it's relevant because, again, it's just sort of like full-on, I think she calls her fans demons or something. And then she's in here as a demon, and then there's lambs all around her, and so she's seducing the lambs for the slaughter or something like this, right? But the theme of the video is all poltergeist, and then the family runs away at the end. So not a lot of symbolism, but just sort of straight up the demonic. And then I'm sure everybody would also include in this the Lil Nas X Gaytonism, right? Which, I mean, this dude is just straight up like blasphemous. You know what I mean? This guy's full on just totally degenerate. I think is it this one? This is the one where he's in a gay fling with the devil. I'm not going to play it. I'm just illustrating what I'm talking about, right? By the way, thank you for those super chats. We're going to get back into the more esoteric videos because these are not that good. These are just straight up demonic and degenerate and dumb. It's just art. It's just artistic direction. So here we have a fall from grace, right? So there's this alien fall, you could say, and then he ends up in as a woman, full on fake and gray, and then he goes to Hades, to hell, to become a stripper. He a stripper, and he down there with the devil getting played. You know what I'm saying? You get the idea. We're not even worth watching. Too degenerate. We need to heal from this degeneracy with something wholesome, and I think you know what I mean. We can always find something wholesome in Gnome Hyperborea. So let's flee from it, all this degeneracy, and find a bit of respite in the healing that is Gnome Hyperborea.
Staring at the bottom of the clouds, hoping one day you'll make a dream last. The dreams come slow and they go so fast. You see it when you close your eyes. Maybe one day you'll understand why everything you touch surely dies. But you only need the light when it's burning low. Only miss the sun when it starts to snow. Only know the love when you let it go. Only know you've been high when you're feeling low. Only hate the road when you're missing home. Only know you love when you let it go. Staring at the ceiling in the dark, same old empty feeling in your heart. Stuck on slow and it goes so fast. You feel when you fall asleep, never to touch and never to keep. Cause you lost it too much and you dive too deep.
Everybody!
You only need the light when it's burning low. Only miss the sun when it starts to snow. Only know the love when you let it go. Only know you've been high when you're feeling low. Only hate the road when you're missing home.
All right, now let that cleanse us from all of that degeneracy, from that disgusting creature, Lil Nas X. All right, moving on. Oh, there's one other one I'll just mention in passing. These are all in the same category with the Timberlake, right, of just straight up demonic. This one doesn't have that much symbolism. It does have the black goo. Billie Eilish has her and angel wings ripped out of her, and she's cast down as Lucifer. She identifies herself here in this scene as Lucifer when she lands in a giant pile of black goo. So she is the fallen angel. It's all good girls go to hell. And then she's sort of wandering around in a damn trash bag covered in black goo. So those are the straight up demonic videos. All right, let's move on to the actual esoteric symbolism in videos that is worth decoding to some degree. Number 4, I have Katy Perry's Wide Awake. And I have this one there because I think we need to have at least one or two MK Ultra, Sex Kitten, alternate personality, MPD, DID videos in there somewhere. Because those often have some element of Hermeticism and the occult. Usually it's something to do with alchemy and psychological transformation. And it does seem like in some of the cases, the pop stars, seems like some of these pop stars have had handlers and have been under some mind control. I mean, we know about what Kanye has said about his trainer. And I don't think that that's any one-off situation. Think about Elvis and Colonel Tom. Now, I don't know that every pop star has a handler. I'm not saying that, but there seems to be a recurring theme here, especially given what all came out with Britney and the conservatorship and all that. And Britney seems to be out of it. And remember, Kanye said that if you go off script, they drug you. So remember, it might be the case that Kanye is maybe he's being drugged again. It looks like they're drugging Britney again. I mean, unless she's just totally snapped and just going crazy, right? Katy Perry seems to have kind of retreated into modeling or something. I think she's like a spokesperson for some perfume or something. I don't know. Maybe she still does. I think I've heard one song of hers or something in them. I don't know if she even does. I don't really follow pop music that much. But if we go back to Wide Awake, this is interesting because it's almost a meta take on the theme of the mind-controlled pop star. And so one of her other videos features her, in this cotton candy sort of Candyland theme. That's in the other video, right? California Girls. And so when she leaves the scene of the filming of the video, she goes back to her trailer and she takes off her pink wig. She starts reflecting on how she got to where she is. And it turns into this sort of mythical journey of some kind of... It's very Alice in Wonderland themed, right? And so she's entering into some sort of medieval thing, right? A maze. Now, the maze is relevant because the maze does often represent the psyche. This is very common in ancient and medieval symbology, that the maze is the mind, it's the psyche. It's the mind's journey through reality back to the source, back to the one. It's a Neoplatonic type of image. And so here, as she enters into the maze, you'll see the caterpillar. And the caterpillar is there because it's obviously a symbol of transformation. It becomes the butterfly. And these are common MK theme tropes that we find in a lot of these videos, a lot of the pop stars for many, many years now. Even prior to, the modern 2000s era pop star. I mean, you can go back into the 80s and you'll find a lot of the same imagery and themes. For example, a lot of people have forgotten that Peter Gabriel's Big Time in I'm on my way, I'm making it big time. Right, remember Big Time? Did you pay attention to the symbolism in the video? This is not part of the esoteric. I'm just going to show you something that you probably didn't notice or weren't aware of. I'm on my way, I'm making it big time. So much larger than life. Now, I'm just going to play you one little section to illustrate what I'm talking about. Thank you for those super chats. If you want to support the stream, you can do so via the super chat function on Streamlabs. Click over to Streamlabs. It's a much better form of super chatting. They give us 97%. So this is Peter Gabriel's sort of meta satirical song about being big time and what made him big time. It's kind of Pee-wee's Playhouse sort of thing. But his house, what does it turn into? Oh, what do you know? It turns into a giant all-seeing eye. So is Peter Gabriel Illuminate confirmed? Well, around this time, he did a very famous movies theme, which you may have recalled or heard about, The Last Temptation of Christ. A blasphemous, Gnostic, Arian, Nestorian presentation of the person of Christ. So my suspicion is that Peter Gabriel might be Illuminate confirmed. But that's my speculation. Anyway, is he telling us in the video, in the song, what and who made him big time? Now, back to Katy. Back to Perry Katy. There's Katy Perry and there's also Perry Katy. Few will get that reference. I know some of the longtime mods will get that reference, but few will get that reference. So she enters the maze. We see the heart and the caterpillar. So her heart, it seems like this might be significant. The heart plays a central role in a lot of alchemical literature and imagery. It's our most inner central place. This is Katy's inner world, right? Remember, she sat down from being on the music video set to go and take her persona, her costume off. She looks in the mirror. Yes, mirrors, caterpillars, monarch butterflies, shattered glass. These are all classic MK Ultra adjacent symbology. We all know this by now. What does she see in her inner world? Well, she sees herself entering a maze. Again, imagery of the subconscious. This is not speculation. If you read M.L. von Franz's book that's written with Carl Jung, Jungian philosophy, you'll find essays that discuss the subconscious symbolized as the maze. It's very well known. She walks through the maze in this sort of, again, fantasy witch garb. So this might be how she sees herself, or what she's the image she's created of herself to survive, in her mind, whatever she's gone through. She has a supernatural witch powers or something, right? She then sort of opens up to her inner core child self. So we're getting these sort of multiple persons, these multiple alters. So who's the real Katy Perry, right? There's Katy Perry, that's one persona in the California Girls video with all the pink cotton candy sex kitten imagery. She goes into the dressing room, she takes that off, and she's another person, the real Katy Perry. But is that the real Katy Perry? Because when she looks in the mirror, she sees another Katy Perry who is this tough superhero witch chick. But then there's another Katy Perry who is the core personality that sort of emerges, who is the child Katy Perry. This is the real Katy Perry, the core personality. Now, I'm not saying that this necessarily proves or means that she was MK Ultra or something like that. It could be. I don't know. I don't know if, but I would not be surprised, again, given the track record of what we've seen with people like, Britney Spears and other pop stars who have had similar stories and accounts of trauma. Right? We think about, Amanda Bynes, did she do pop music? I don't remember. But we've seen this with Britney's breakdowns. We've seen it with other pop stars and their breakdowns. So there's nothing kind of new about this. But Beyonce oftentimes suggests and has imagery that evokes the idea that she also has been traumatized and has multiple personalities. Now, I don't know if she does. She could be doing that just as a symbolic artistic portrayal, or she actually might have multiple personalities. I mean, this is a real thing. It's rare, but it is a real thing. So the young child Katy Perry wanders through the maze, and then we end up in this sort of Wizard of Oz, Wonderland. It could be, Return to Oz, Marvelous Land of Oz. It could be Return to Oz. It could be Alice in Wonderland themed here with the odd, wonky floor and all the mirrors. And we find, again, what do we see now? Another Katy and multiple Katys. And so now we have this sort of queen-ish decked out Katy who is leading the core child Katy to the mirror to try to find the true core persona. However, this construct of this world, of this inner world begins to crack and is shattered. This could suggest, again, and I think this is probably one of the most straight up MK Ultra-ish of all ever videos, right? I mean, if there was to be one music video that captured in symbolic form the idea of the MK Ultra pop star, it would be this one. This one will even beat the next one, which I'm going to say is the number 3. Or we're going to have some ties in here because there's a few that are kind of tied. I'm going to say this one's tied with the next one for the most MK. So the core child personality is pushing the now insane asylum Katy Perry, and it's very clearly an insane asylum. We have another personality who's gone insane. She is essentially under some sort of lock and key at this mental ward or at this rehab. She sees her captors as these sort of demonic figures that imprison her. She then emerges from the wheelchair and wants to escape. And so she tries to run out of the prison, the mental prison of what appears to be MK Ultra sort of symbology and torture. And she emerges into a beautiful garden, which again could symbolize innocence, could symbolize freedom from her imprisonment, torture, and so forth. And now it's like, well, so will she be saved by a man? Will a knight in shining armor come and save and white knight her from her trauma? And of course, we got to have a strong girl message. She pushes him away. She don't need no man. She don't need no man. Plus, that dude gay as hell. So I'm actually on the side of Katy Perry right here by pushing him away. That was Perry Katy right there. That dude gay as hell. She's like, plus I don't need no man. I'm a strong, independent woman. Now we have straight up like Alice in Wonderland, Through the Looking Glass-ish imagery, right? Because she pushes the prince, the white knight, and actually that's from Through the Looking Glass, right? He comes up, he shows up, the white knight, to save her, but he's a bumbling idiot. And she ends up saving herself in the story, not the white knight. Because I think it's a, well, if you guys heard this, right? We did like a 4-hour breakdown of Through the Looking Glass and what it was all about. You can go back a few episodes on my channel and you get the free half. Thank you for those. By the way, super chats are done through Streamlabs. You want to support the stream, you can do so right here via the super chat function on Streamlabs. Leave me a comment, ask a question. You can do it right there. And we're doing this because it's a great party stream to celebrate topic that we haven't done. And I don't know why we never did this. We just never did. So she finds self-salvation and reconciles with her core personality self now that she is a strong, independent, feminist pop star woman. And so the sad part is that the monarch transformation here into a candy girl, which is a version, again, of the SEX kitten, the idea is that she's doing this as her only way to survive because presumably she's been traumatized by a man or the men in her life. And so this is her form of, strong girl, slay queen independence. And this is being kind of slow. So then she's back on stage once again as the peppermint Candyland girl. So she goes from being right in Candyland to being this witch slay queen to being a child. And these are all versions of herself. And again, very evocative of Through the Looking Glass. And that's relevant because Through the Looking Glass and Alice in Wonderland, if you remember when we covered it, the scholarship believes that Lewis Carroll might have been MPD-DID. And that's why Alice actually has multiple personalities when she first gets to, when she first goes down the rabbit hole. And if you didn't know that, yeah, go watch my deep dives into the other ones. Yes, now you were saying, why is Anya Taylor-Joy on here? Now, some of the stars we've noticed over the years tend to be in the same themed videos and stories, right? So, for example, certain actresses will constantly appear in MK Ultra themed type productions and movies, often about multiple personality splits. And Anya Taylor-Joy seems to be one of the new recurring MK Ultra theme persons. I mean, basically every movie she's in deals with this theme in some way or very close to it or adjacent to it. For example, we find her transforming in her in The Witch, which is a pretty wild movie. She transforms from a hardcore Puritan into a straight up butt naked in the woods witch, right? Levitating and everything. Because she's made a deal with Black Phillip, who is a talking goat, who's Satan. In the M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong movie with James McAvoy, she's caught by a multiple personality, demonically possessed crazy dude and imprisoned, and eventually figures out a way to get out. I thought that was a really good movie. I thought Split was excellent. And, Shyamalan, he can make a really good movie. Now, some of the Shyamalan Ding Dongs have not been that great, but, Split was, I thought, really good. And we did a whole podcast on Split back in the day with Greg Carlwood from Higherside Chats. So if you want to go dig up that relic from the archives, you could find our deep dive on Split. But again, Anya Taylor-Joy is always popping up in these. Even Marrowbone is about multiple personalities. Did you remember that? That was a pretty good movie. It's overlooked, but it has the theme. It's a head injury. Oops, spoiler. But plays into the theme of multiple personalities. What else? Last Night in Soho. We did a whole breakdown of Last Night in Soho. That's totally a multiple personality, fractured psyche, alter persona film. Basically, me and the PsyOp Cinema Bros, my good buddies, we did a whole breakdown of Anya Taylor-Joy, MPD, DID themed films. And this is another one. This is the video, Skrillex's Red Lips, and she's in the video. I'm picking this as my next one because this is really the theme of Lost Innocence, I think. She's in a sort of alternate version of Eden. She has a very angelic appearance about her. She's this innocent creature in a fluffy, candy-like Eden state. And she's milling about. And then suddenly we have the demonic. So the Eden is invaded by the demonic. She flees. The woman flees from the serpent. Something evoking Revelation 12, perhaps. There's a very apocalyptic feel to this video. Also seems kind of racist. Right? So she's chased by these things, the demonic. She leaves this Eden and enters into this bizarre sort of concrete, barren, cold thing, and she's now become some sort of dark Jadis type of creature. If you've read Lewis, about Jadis, or she's encountering, I guess, her shade side. And remember, in a lot of the Jungian stuff, the demonic and the shade side, they think is you, right? So it's not something that you have to exorcise. All of this occult Jungian gibberish is actually based on you integrating the demonic into you, because the demonic is just a projection of your psyche that you need to integrate. And so here she is in what appears to be a modern sort of sterile, advanced, maybe even a tech future. And plants are cut off from the world. There's no, everything is sterile. And so the living things are behind this glass as if it's a sort of a relic, but they break free. And these moths, or what, I can't tell what they are. They look like moths. They could be some damn, it looks like those damn mosquitoes in Texas. Have you ever seen those mosquitoes like around Temple, Texas, dude? They look like this. Okay, I'm talking like, I never seen a mosquito like that, bro. Okay, we went and hung out with Hesher and Spore one time in Temple, Texas. Many, many years ago. I'm talking like 6-7 years ago. And I got a bite from a mosquito that was about that big. Left a damn whelp. Looked like I had damn AIDS and herpes on my back from a mosquito, dude. Mosquito AIDS. I'm not joking either. That thing was insane. It looked like this. Okay, so I don't know if that's what's going on here, but now we get imagery very similar to The Cell. Do you remember The Cell with J-Lo and Vince Vaughn? In The Cell, It's another MK Ultra type of, alternate personality film. She goes inside the psyche of a serial killer who was abused in youth to become also a multiple personality individual who is also possessed. One of the multiples is a demon that resides in the psyche of the serial killer. Thankfully, J-Lo can go in there, do a little butt shaking and twerking, and save everybody. Here, however, Anya Taylor-Joy appears to now be fractured and imprisoned in one of her altars via this demonic realm that she's entered into. The powdered donut demon boys show up. They have imprisoned her. She's essentially, I'm trying to remember so basically they start taking off their heads. And that, again, when you see this in a lot of artwork or in films or in literature, the removal of the head could be the loss of reasoning, or it can also symbolize alternate personalities as well. So this could be suggesting that she's now been fractured. They start to break. So like her psyche, it's been fractured. That's what they're essentially showing her. We see more little midget demons showing up. She apparently wants to, I guess, reason with one of them. I wish I could play the video, but I can't. She gets free. She keeps running. Except now she's in what appears to be a wilderness. So just like in The Fall, I think we have a weird artistic representation of The Fall. The pure, innocent virgin woman has fallen, and she's been exiled now to this sort of wilderness. But she has this lonely, desolate existence now, and it's very reminiscent of when they're exiled from the Garden of Eden, and you have the cherub with the sword that banishes them, and Earth is like a wilderness now. So I thought Red Lips was a pretty esoteric themed video. Next on my list, though, is the last of the MK Ultra themes, and it is Beautiful Stranger. I thought Beautiful Stranger was not Beautiful Stranger. What am I talking about? Die Another Day. Excuse me. And everybody's forgotten this Madonna song because it's the Madonna James Bond that is really preposterous. It's the one with the dude with the diamonds in his face.
Hi,
right?
everyone. Mark Barden.
We all know this. Everybody remembers this, I think, right? But you probably don't remember the symbolism in it. When I went back and watched this, and I'm going to pull up the lyrics because the lyrics are really ridiculously stupid for this video, but they're also insightful because you're going to find out that it's full of Kabbalism. And I guess I bet you didn't know that Die Another Day by Madonna was full of Kabbalistic and demonic imagery. And we're going to find a lot of the similar themes in the previous 3 videos, by the way. I want the lyrics. Okay. I'm going to wake up, yes and no. So her awakening is to the idea of duality. Non-being, being, yes, no, on, off, right? That's the first thing that she begins to realize when she wakes up. The movie has the theme of the beginning of Die Another Day, where Pierce Brosnan has been arrested by the North Korean secret police, and he is being tortured. So they did the same theme with the movie for the video, where Madonna awakens. She wakes up. She's brought... Oh, man. I didn't mean to do that. She's brought in just like Pierce Brosnan is to be interrogated, tortured. But what's interesting is that this is a theme of MK Ultra, right? She's brought into her interrogator. She's thrown down, maybe as if she is being violated, so to speak. But you'll notice, what's that on her shoulder? Oh, that's a Kabbalistic tattoo. I don't know what the Hebrew tattoo on her arm means, but it has to be something Kabbalistic, right? So they put her in basically a MK Ultra-ish torture chair, is I guess what we call it. It's an electroshock chair, you see. And I think that's what they put Pierce Brosnan in the movie, right? So Madonna then flashes back to the polarities and the dualities that are going on within her. So there's a black swordsman and a white swordsman. This parallels with the film as well. If you remember, Bond goes to London and has a sword fight with who we later find out is the real villain, and Madonna makes a cameo in that scene. So it's playing on what's in Die Another Day, yes, but it's also pointing out the doubling and the alternate personalities, the split that's occurred here. Now, is Madonna an NPD? I don't know, but if it's the going on with Britney and with Kanye, I mean, I would not be surprised if it's going on back to the times of Madonna, right? And we've all seen Madonna lately. She don't look like Madonna, does she? I mean, something crazy's going on. I mean, she's looking rough, bro. Something happened. What had happened was something had happened, okay? You know what I'm saying? And tying into the Madonna theme is the recent concert that I'm sure you guys saw, where she starts reading from the book of Revelation. Now, a lot of people want to read a lot into this. Maybe. I'll show you what I'm talking about right here, this clip. I kind of think that she's just going crazy. You know what I mean? Like, if you've seen her... We'll play this in a second. I don't even know how to describe what she looks like. It doesn't even look like a human being. So this is what we're talking about now. Okay. This is Madonna now. Okay. Well, you can't even see it. Yeah, you can. Right here. And people saw this and they were like, what is going on? So this is Madonna now. This basically looks like a blow-up doll. From this to this. Okay. This is where we're at now. So let's go back to Die Another Day. Then we'll play her recent concert clip. Now, she's doing her thing, right? She's under duress. She's under North Korean MK Ultra torture. She seems to have a split personality. She's battling herself, right? Does she have a split personality, though, from this event where she appears to be electroshocked and violated? Perhaps that has what... You see what I'm saying? This appears to be that. So it's not just James Bond undergoing interrogation. It seems to also be Madonna undergoing abuse and having a multiple personality. You see what I'm saying? So she's battling with herself. I don't know why there's a midget North Korean guy that pops up who's not Korean. Like, so what's Tyrion doing here? So suddenly Tyrion Lannister pops out of the wall when the glass breaks, right? And the glass breaking, I think, again, is another sign of the shattering, of the fracturing of the psyche. I don't know why there's a Tyrion Lannister makes a guest appearance. She ends up in a museum and a guy's painting a golden... This is a reference to Goldfinger, right? Where Goldfinger kills the girl that James Bond has a fling with by painting her with gold, and the toxins, essentially kill her. Madonna, I guess, is, fearing that she could also be put to death. So this is a reminder that if she doesn't serve the system, she can be dispensed with in the way that Goldfinger dispensed with the girl here. What does Madonna do? She turns to her Kabbalistic religion and binds her arm with the tefillin, which is the Orthodox Jewish prayer strap. But I think for Madonna, it's a Kabbalistic thing. And how she interprets or what she thinks this is, I have no idea. But, and everyone probably knows, Madonna famously did get involved in the Kabbalah Center, I guess, in LA or somewhere. So this was a big part of her thing for a while. She goes nuts and basically kills off the alternate persona. So there's a bunch of other stupid James Bond references. But again, you can see that she's undergoing a sort of electroshock, which is a real MK Ultra thing. They really were doing electroshock experiments to both create alternate personalities and to try to re-imprint and wipe the mind of a person, to re-imprint them, to retool them and re-engineer them. That was a very real thing that did occur. So she kills off her dark persona, I guess, to survive or to, make it out of this. The other Madonna disappears, right? So the one undergoing electroshock disappears, but she has really just gotten out and runs away to find freedom. So another thing that's odd with a lot of these videos is that they're always imprisoned and seeking freedom, but they can never get out of their imprisonment, right? Now, next up, I'm sure everybody was probably guessing that Darkstar made it. Darkstar, I think, at this stage is the most esoteric music video that I could find. And I think that, just to put it bluntly, it's full-on Crowleyan. I think that Crowley really is the inspiration for this video, or OTO-based themes. I don't have any... I mean, we know that there is some definite connection there because Bowie, in his younger days... Well, I forgot to play this Madonna clip where she's reading from the Book of Revelation. Let me play that too. But the other thing I was going to say about the Die Another Day video is that she mentions Sigmund Freud, and the video has the theme of integrating the dark side. So it's Freudian and it's Jungian, and it's Kabbalistic, explicitly. There's not a lot of lyrics to this, by the way, just basically. She mentions Freud. Every sin I'll have to pay. I've come to work. I've come to play. It's all just dialectics, right? I'm going to break this cycle of being trapped in this dialectic. I'm going to shake up the system. I'm going to destroy my ego death. Again, this is Freudian, Jungian type stuff. I'll die another day because today I'm going to do whatever it takes to survive. And then here recently she was doing a concert in Dallas. And she starts reading from the Book of Revelation in this scene. So it's almost like Sufi Islamic sounding chants going on. There's fire. She begins reading from the Book of Revelation.
And to keep what is written therein, for the time is near. He is coming with the clouds, and every eye will see him.
So she's reading texts that talk about the coming of Christ. However, I don't think she is interested in the return of Jesus. I think, as many of the Crowleyans and Satanists do, they believe the Book of Revelation is a magical text. I'm not joking. Crowley thought that the Book of Revelation could be used and could be recited and could be done through ritual magic to bring about Babylon and the Antichrist, the beast. And of course, he claimed he was the beast. I mean, it's kind of ridiculous. But the idea is, from their perspective, that the Book of Revelation is the secret coded Gnostic ritual that you can do. So when we come to the Bowie video, space figures prominently in this at the beginning because we have this astronaut figure who pops up. And in the Crowleyan ethos and in that sphere, space is very important because that's where the gods are, right? We can go to the outer recesses beyond Jupiter because Jupiter is like the Christian Yahweh God that controls or rules us here, right? Or Saturn or whatever. And so the true, most powerful old gods are way beyond out there, beyond our solar system. So when you start to see the idea of conquering space and all of that, I'm not saying Buzz Aldrin and those goobers had Crowleyan stuff in their mind, but Jack Parsons absolutely did. And Jack Parsons is, of course, one of the key figures for developing rockets. He is the rocket dude. Jack Parsons, JPL Laboratory. And everybody probably knows in this audience that Jack Parsons was famously a Crowleyan. And wrote, I think, what we know of as the Babylon Working, if you're familiar with Jack Parsons, which is another one of these rituals attempting to instantiate the eschaton. And yes, for those who like Twin Peaks, this comes up in Twin Peaks. Babylon, also known as the Scarlet Woman, is a goddess in the occult system of Thelema, which was established in 1904 with the writing of the Book of Law by Crowley. It's also developed and spelled variously in other writings, the Vision and the Voice. And let's see, I'm looking for the Parsons part, though. Babylon Working is a series of magic ceremonies and rituals performed in 1946 by rocket fuel pioneer, scientist, and occultist Jack Parsons and Scientology founder L. Ron Hubbard. The ritual was essentially designed to manifest an incarnation of Babylon. The project was based on the ideas of Crowley and his 1917 novel Moonchild. I wanted to find the actual. You can find the actual like written thing that he wrote. Maybe this is it. That's not it. One of those websites like, Sacred Text has. Here it is, Sacred Text. This is it. Collected writings of Jack Parsons, the Book of Babylon, Book of Antichrist. And it's not that long. It's a bunch of just kind of esoteric sounding gibberish. There's invocations that priests do, and so the idea is that they would create a liturgy. There's a lot of Grail themes, there's a lot of Gnostic themes, and there's a lot of attempts at taking the Book of Revelation and turning it into a ritual, as I was saying. So my guess would be that that's what Madonna is up to. That's how she's interpreting these texts in this way. I don't know for sure. I'm just guessing that that's what Madonna means by this stuff. Now for Bowie, we have the return of the space theme. And the reason I was bringing all the Parsons stuff up is that we know that Bowie was familiar with and did study Golden Dawn stuff. In fact, he wrote a song with Golden Dawn references in it. And if you look at this old picture, you'll notice that Bowie was drawing the Sephirot of the Kabbalah. See if I can find that picture. David Bowie was into the Kabbalah and he sang about it. Times of Israel. So here you go. It's a famous picture of David Bowie. You see it. But if you look on the ground, he's actually drawing the tree of life from the Kabbalah. So I know what I'm talking about there. And also, there's a song that he has where he references not just the station to station, mentions the pathways of Kabbalah, Keter, Malkut. But there's another reference to Golden Dawn stuff somewhere. Anyway, this article doesn't have the reference to the Golden Dawn stuff, but... So the astronaut appears... This is funny because you'll notice he's got tape on his boot. So, is that suggesting that maybe this is kind of goofy? All this moon mythology, he's wearing a smiley face patch. That's odd too, because why would the astronaut with holes in his suit be wearing a smiley face patch? There are, by the way, smiley face killers, if you're familiar with this phenomenon where smiley faces have appeared in a lot of unsolved murder cases, and some people theorize that there is a killer or a series of killers, connected killers, who are part of this smiley face killer thing. I don't know if that's what this is a reference to. I'm just saying that that's an element of pop culture that's out there, the smiley face killers. Again, I don't know if that's a reference to that or not, but it could be. Because again, remember, there's a symbiotic relationship between the pop culture and what goes into the videos, and the videos feed the pop culture and the conspiracy theories. William Ramsey has an interesting documentary on the smiley face killers. I think they made a movie. Now, there was a trucker. This is a different thing. And I've watched some information, some documentary. I've read some stuff on Keith Hunter Jesperson, who's an actual serial killer. That's not what we're talking about. So the smiley face killings are separate from the smiley face killer, who's another serial killer. He was busted some years back. He was a trucker who was also a serial killer. So this is a separate issue, which many police dismiss. The cops usually say, it's just silly, it's a theory, there's no real connection between a lot of these unsolved murders. The theorists believe that there is something to it because of the presence of the smiley faces everywhere. Anyway, I don't know why we're going into this. It's not really relevant to what we're talking about. But you can read about the smiley face killers elsewhere. It's an interesting rabbit hole to go down. I don't have any set opinion on it. But it is odd that it pops up here. And so we have this sort of astronaut dead on this black star somewhere where it's not the moon, it's something else. There's an eclipse. So we're in, or is it an eclipse, or is it a black sun? Is this the Reich of the black sun that some esotericists and occultists believe in? For example, in the new Dune, they gave the Harkonnens a black sun. So Katy Prime is said to have a black sun, or shown to have that. That was, a lot of people thought that was really a well shot scene when we're on Katy Prime. We find a girl walking around on this dark star, black star, whatever it is. This is apparently some planet out there beyond the recesses of the known gods and universe. So somehow this astronaut ended up there. David Bowie, meanwhile, is in what appears to be some sort of barn church. And you might think, well, it's not a church, it's just a weird attic. No, actually, later on, it makes it pretty clear that it's a church, and he's a kind of a Pentecostal preacher. So when we see these people shaking, they're acting like the Shakers, okay, or the Quakers, which is, if you don't know, kind of the origin of modern charismaticism. So where does charismatic Pentecostal stuff come from? Well, we know about the Foursquare gospel movement and all that. Yes, it comes out of that. However, that's not the first manifestation in church history of charismatic displays of gibberish and shaking and quaking and barking and laughing, all the stuff that the charismatics do, which they think are gifts, but are not. We have actually seen this, if you didn't know this, many times in church history. Many times in church history, there have been these manifestations where people act this way and believe in delusion that it is the Holy Spirit, or that it's God sort of possessing them to act the exact same way voodoo people act. Interesting. Now, Bowie is blind. I don't know why he's blind, and other than that, this could be a reference to the blindfold that a person wears, right, in a Masonic initiation, or and remember that the OTO and Thelema and all that, it's loosely also based on and cribbing from Masonry. The Golden Dawn also, which Crowley was a member of, it has these sort of gradations, and Masonic type structure to it. So perhaps the blindfold is a Masonic reference. However, this seems to speak of a new cult in a new aeon. And when you look in the background there, what you think is just an attic with a window, it's actually a pyramid with a floating cap above it. And so Bowie is inviting people into his church, and he will be presented as a kind of Pentecostal preacher, but not of anything related to Christianity. He's a preacher of the God of the Blackstar. And so this girl is sort of wandering around on this planet. She finds what appears to be a city. And when she opens up the helmet of the astronaut, she finds this Damien Hirst-looking skull. And if you're not familiar with Damien Hirst, he is he's one of these like avant-garde, weirdo artists who, I think he's the guy that cuts the animals in half and likes to display, like animal guts and stuff. Again, kind of evoking the imagery that we saw. In fact, I think they even use the cow sliced up in the movie The Cell with J-Lo. Remember that? In The Cell, there is this sequence where the cow is chopped up in these glass tanks, Damien Hirst style. And, he seems to be not just into Skittles stuff, but into, like harming animals type stuff. It's what this is what this speaks to me. We have an animal pierced with arrows. We have here's the cow cut up, very almost exactly identical to what's in The Cell, the J-Lo movie. And by the way, I have essays on that as well that you should check out. Interestingly, Damien Hirst also does monarch butterfly imagery. I wonder why he would want to do that. I'm guessing this sort of psychedelia type stuff. Maybe it was drug inspired. It certainly looks that way. But there's just something obviously demonic going on here with this dude, much like H.R. Giger. But he made this skull famously, which is this, I think it's a diamond studded skull called For the Love of God. And then it reminds me of what we're finding here in this sort of relic. So notice that I think we're supposed to assume that the man is the astronaut, and he's dead. So we are into some far-flung future. The church on Earth that has, Brother David Bowie as its pastor, right? Maybe it's the same denomination as Randy Ball's. I don't know, but the David Bowie denomination is preaching a gospel of, come up into my damn Pentecostal crazy cult. And he's got a book with a black star on it that is preaching this other gospel. I suspect that the other gospel is predicting far into the future, when man colonizes space or goes out to the far recesses, man eventually dies out. I'm saying men die out. Well, if men die out in the far-flung future of the evolved Slay Queen race, who's left? Well, just wait. Now you got these po' boys over here shaking it up, right? They're shakers, they're Quakers in this weird Pentecostal church. Meanwhile, I think this is way into the future. This woman who has evolved, she has a tail, so she's some sort of evolved sort of thing. She's wandering through this far-off space city after finding the relic of a man. She wanders into a meeting where there's a sort of ritual going on. It looks like a church service. And it's very similar to the church service that's going on here in the attic of Grandma's house, of the barn or whatever. And so it's a liturgy, it's a ritual that's being celebrated that parallels each other. But you'll notice either in this far-off space planet where there's only women, where all the men have died, right? Notice there's no men. So it could be either in the future or it's present day. There's no men. Bowie, we see him again preaching this gospel with the Blackstar Bible. He eventually becomes very clearly a preacher, even though it's odd for a church. It's clearly meant to have a kind of a Protestant Pentecostal, church thing going on. They dance in the spirit, and the idea is that they want to get possessed. And as the church service progresses, as Bowie preaches and acts crazy, the young girl starts calling more people to the cult, to the sect. And they begin to get possessed. And I say that because here we have a clearly blasphemous image. Remember, Crowley also would speak of the crucifixion in these very blasphemous ways of like crucifying a frog to blaspheme Christ. Bowie is seeing or preaching this vision of scarecrows. In other words, Jesus didn't really die. He's some sort of a fraud or a figment of everyone's imagination. He's like a scarecrow, I think is what that's supposed to say. And so it's either that or he represents Christianity, and that real Christianity is this inner Gnostic Crowleyan type of Christianity, which, by the way, Crowley thought that his version of the Gnostic Catholic Church that he started, he thought that was real Christianity. So remember, the Crowleyans are not 100% opposed to Christianity in their apologetics, in their claims. I mean, we think they are, but they wouldn't say they are. They would call Christians the Black Brothers. And they think that the Christians really just don't know the deeper esoteric Gnostic mysteries of the book of Revelation being a ritual. It's not a book that you read to predict the future and the return of Jesus. It's a secret Gnostic ritual that you do with Jack Parsons and all your coomery out in the desert. So Bowie keeps preaching either the real Christianity or this new emerging future cult. And then there's a vision or a glimpse of what the future religion is, and it's all women. And the women begin to go beyond just the sort of Quaker Shaker thing. They start to act exactly like Vaudoons, or the way that in voodoo, the way that the shaman tries to become possessed. And we actually see then a shaman show up, a voodoo shaman or a demon. It's hard to tell. It doesn't have any of the characteristics of a human, so it looks like full possession. Now, why am I saying all this? Did you know that Crowley actually said that the closest thing to Crowleyanity was charismaticism and voodoo? Crowley actually liked charismatics and Pentecostals because he thought they weren't really being possessed by, some sort of Christian thing. They were being possessed just like voodoo people got possessed. He saw Pentecostalism and charismaticism as identical to voodoo. And he has some quote where he says something like, if you really want to understand Crowleyanity, it is the direct, immediate inspiration. And that bypasses even all the rituals. He has some quote like this, like the purpose of the rituals is to get possessed and to attain that union, so to speak. And if you can bypass that with just going straight into like Pentecostal type stuff, then that's an even better route, you see. So in the future Slay Queen Pentecostal religion, they bring out the skull of man that has passed on and died. And you'll notice that previously the patriarchal religion that had Bowie blind, right? The women aren't wearing blindfolds. The preacher wears the blindfold. But in the future religion, It's all women. It's all Slay Queen, bro. And then we get a beautiful Nubian princess as the queen mother that walks out. So the goddess apparently is the future religion. Everyone bows down before the goddess and the dead skull of the man. And they begin to sway on the ground just like in voodoo. So the future religion is Slay Queen, Vodouns, baby. It's not men. And then the actual voodoo shaman shows up, right? Or the demon, whatever that is. So I voted this as my most esoterically themed video. What do you guys think? Now, I'm sure that there's obscure metal bands. I'm sure that there's some neo-pagan band. I specifically wanted pop songs that had esoteric themes and symbols. Hopefully you guys enjoyed tonight's selection and breakdown. It is fun to do music videos. We haven't done them before. I don't know why. We should have been doing them, but we just didn't. So we got several super chats. We got Fabio on the net. That's me right here. The greatest white rapper from South Philly, J Dizzle Dyer. You heard that? Thanks for the great content. To learn and have fun at the same time. Yeah, we all about that infotainment, dog. By the way, if you want some real infotainment, y'all got to come to our event. You know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about in the show description. I do want to look at this Jimmy Fallon video because I don't remember this. And a lot of people are saying, do the Jimmy Fallon Ariana Grande thing. So I think it has, these kind of satanic themes in it. I don't remember, though, because I haven't seen this in forever. It's like, 3-4 years old? I think they put this out at Christmas, too. So to kind of annoy Christians. And, they think it's being really edgy when they put out, let's put out a satanic Christmas video to annoy the Christians. Yeah, we'll get them. Oh, yeah, they're really gonna be upset. And, it's all so banal by now that nobody is even paying attention to this stuff. Nobody cares. But y'all has got to get on over here to our event. We'll be live in Las Vegas. Me, Isaac Weishaupt, Jamie Kennedy, Jamie Hanshaw. It's a wild 6-hour infotainment extravaganza. It is the most epic of all live infotainment events. Seriously. This is our third show with Jamie now. We've invited Isaac out. We all know Isaac in this audience. We've done many, many podcasts over many, many years with Isaac. So it's going to be great to actually meet him in person, actually have book signings, actually have him do a whole presentation on Eyes Wide Shut. I'm going to do a whole presentation on geopolitics, espionage, and blackmail. Jamie Kennedy does, of course, an excellent set of stand-up, and he takes your questions, Q&A. You can bring all of your Scream gear to get signed. You can get your pictures with Jamie Kennedy. He's a really cool guy. Also, bring your damn Romeo and Juliet memorabilia. I know we got some girls in the audience that are fans of Leo and Claire Danes and Romeo and Juliet. Did you remember that Jamie Kennedy was a big part in Romeo and Juliet? Absolutely. And, of course, solidified his pop culture status via Scream. And, of course, he's in many other great things, too. The Jamie Kennedy Experiment's one of the best comedy shows of all time. So, we're honored and happy to be doing the shows with Jamie. He's for me, it's surreal. It's just so odd to be I remember watching the comedy. I remember watching Jamie Kennedy Experiment back in the day and thinking, it's almost like a weird, I had a flash at one time that, I'm not kidding either. I remember being, I was in my brother's room back in the day. We lived at my mom's house. This is probably 2002, 3. And I remember watching some clips of Jamie Kennedy Experiment when it was on, I think the WB. And I remember thinking, almost in this flash, I might get to meet Jamie Kennedy one day. That'd be interesting. I'm not kidding. And here we are. It's just weird. So, I mean, mystical stuff is real. I don't know how it all works, but there's some real mystical stuff out there. Alula, $5. The last super chat that I sent a few days ago sounded very sus. When it was read out loud, my fault, I apologize. I didn't mean to say no diddy. It's okay, man. I read all of the super chats in a jokey way, so it's okay. I didn't even remember. That's cool. Appreciate it. Alula, $3. Congratulations on the 1 million views on your video. Yeah, tonight's a great celebration stream. It's so hard. Yeah, I could say, yo, I manifest that shit. I manifested that, you know? I seen Jamie Kennedy in 2003 on the TV. I said, I'm going to manifest meeting that dude 20 years from now. 20 years later, I manifested it, bro. But thank you, Alula. Congratulations. 1 million views. It's so hard to get 1 million views on video. And we came so close last year with being in studio with Lord Voldemort. That big 3-hour Saturday emergency broadcast. Got like 850,000. So we were so close to breaking 1 million. And yes, I have to say, actually, only via David Icke and Lord Voldemort could I have actually broken the 1 million views. But because they both shared it and commented on it, it did go over 1 million. So Rachel Wilson, $20. Congratulations on breaking 1 million views. Yeah, thank you so much. Appreciate that. I knew eventually we would have a video that broke 1 million, but I didn't expect it to come from Twitter. I thought, you know, eventually maybe something on YouTube or something. But actually it makes sense now because, you know, Twitter is much freer. So it does make sense that it would happen there. Bumblebee, $5. Thank you for explaining the black goo theme in movies. My boyfriend and I were just talking about this because so many movies have it. Exactly. Prometheus. Exactly. Dune, etc. We always wondered what it means. I think it has multiple symbolic meanings and reference, right? It can be just symbolic of being baptized into evil as a kind of counter to Christian baptism. It might mean, alien technology. It might mean nanotech. Those are the, symbols and meanings I could think. Sometimes it might also represent the oil industry. Seriously. Because oil kind of, comes out of the earth. People, oddly enough, are demonized into thinking that it's inherently evil or something ridiculous like this. There was a lot of symbol, like in Fern Gully. Remember Fern Gully? That's a Captain Planet style, climate propaganda thing. And in Fern Gully isn't the oil evil black goo? I mean, I haven't seen it since I was a kid, but yeah, exactly. I mean, Fern Gully did suck. But I think it's anti-oil industry propaganda, if I recall. Captain Planet definitely is. I don't know if Captain Planet has black goo in it though, but somebody said do Jacob's Ladder. I've done Jacob's Ladder twice. So we did it with Tristan and we did it with Stark, the Stark bro. Storm the Cat, $5. I like David Bowie's older music. The final album, Blackstar, felt very demonic and evil. I feel the same way. I mean, I like some David Bowie stuff. I like a lot of if you listen to like 70s early Bowie stuff, not early, but 70s era Bowie stuff, he was like, it sounds like indie music 20 or 30 years later. So he was actually kind of like way ahead of the curve when it came to like all that 2000s era indie music. It sounds like Bowie from the 70s, early 80s. I never wanted to listen to Bowie again. The album spooked me. The song is spooky. I mean, the Blackstar song and the Lazarus song, it has a very spooky vibe to it. Anyway, guys, please go get your tickets. June 22nd, live in Las Vegas with these titans of entertainment and symbology, Jamie Kennedy, Jamie Henshaw, and Isaac Weishaupt. So please go get those tickets right there. Skooma Bear, $25. Someone asked you during the Gnosticism stream a couple of days ago about finding one's purpose in life by acquiring the virtues to participate in theoria. I think you mean participate in theosis. Something like that. Could you go into more depth about it? Finding one's purpose by acquiring the virtues. I mean, I think I was pulling from St. Maximus the Confessor. He talks about everybody's telos being purpose, being to become what they are intended to be in Christ. And so it's not that, a lot of like evangelicals or charismatics, they get this idea like, God wants me to tell me where I need to go today. Like, do I need to go to the store today? God will tell me if I need to walk to the grocery store. No, you can do whatever you want because you have free will to use the gifts that God gave you. You don't have to go to the store when God tells you. It's rather that you use the skills that you have to create and be like God and do any of those things to God's glory. That's the point. I think that's what I was talking about, if I recall. But to be more specific about St. Maximus, he says that man's purpose in life ultimately is to attain the virtues, to acquire the virtues, and that is what brings us back to our natural state. So what's most natural to man is actually the virtues, because all the virtues are in Christ. Matthew, $5. You got to watch Save Your Tears, which is one of the music videos by The Weeknd. Oh, interesting. So there's he says there's an Eyes Wide Shut themed Weeknd video. Okay, I did not know that. So a lot of these like new pop radio bands I don't keep up with. So Save Your Tears. We'll take just a brief tour of this video. Before we look at some of the symbolism and imagery of this, I want to remind you that
nothing dims
you need to do something. All of you. Some of y'all is looking a little on the weak side. And we want to cure that weakness and make you into toxic, masculine beast boys. That's right. I want to make you not into like the beast from Revelation, into a lion taming beast boy. And how do you do that? You do that through our show sponsor, Chalk.com. Chalk.com is the best in supplementation that you can get. 100% beyond organic. It is absolutely purified. They are so obsessed when it comes to purifying their products that I know you're going to be satisfied when you get a hold of that Tomcat Ali, that 100% boost testosterone. When you get a hold of the 7 Wonders that makes up for your nutrient mineral deficiencies. If you're looking for action, for energy, Action 2.0. My favorite is the Tomcat Elite, but there's also products that work great for the ladies. You want to try to balance out your hormones. They've got ashwagandha. They've got Irish moss. All of those work great for y'all ladies to get fixed. Oh, by the way, I forgot one of the videos I wanted to mention. There's one more pretty degenerate esoteric video. I got to all of them except for one. I do want to show you a couple clips from that as well. But I got to tell you this message first. And we have one of our good friends, Vivek Roboswamy, here to help explain to y'all what I'm talking about.
I'm gonna put you on something crazy real quick. Most of these Zoomer gym bros are consuming macro-guzzling synthetic dyes and synthetic sweeteners on the daily. They don't even know it. Goofy AF. There's nothing great about that. Do not listen any further unless you are an alpha or sigma male. This is important and there could be consequences. There's a new certified sigma male pre-workout powder for sigmas only. It is guaranteed to empower you to dominate your co-workers, fire your boss, aggressively gamble, or invade a small village. Chad Mode stands out from the crowd by excluding artificial flavors, preservatives, sweeteners, and dyes. We've even avoided so-called natural flavors, which are actually not natural at all, ensuring a clean and effective formula. Experience the pure goodness of Chad Mode, colored with organic blue spirulina extract, organic lemon, cherry, and organic maple crystals. Forget synthetic caffeine made in a sketchy Chinese lab. Embrace the natural power of organic green coffee bean extract, which will get your mind going and pump you up to the max. Chad Mode is made in America with all clean ingredients, the first clean pre-workout of its kind. Why are these people adding synthetic sweeteners to every single pre-workout when there are many studied downsides to consuming nasty fake sucralose? Each dose of Chad Mode contains the kick of a cup and a half of coffee, delivering a surge of energy alongside essential vitamins, minerals, amino acids, and herbal extracts. Chad Mode will allow you to fire your boss and dominate anyone who opposes you. Chad Mode will make you more dominant in your daily life, so proceed with caution. It's as simple as mixing 1 or 2 scoops of our fine powder into water or juice, providing you with a delicious, energizing beverage featuring a burst of sweet organic fruit flavor. Chad Mode will give you the extra edge you desperately crave. Don't miss out. Secure your supply of Chad Mode on TikTok Shop.
That we're all proud of. I got a browser here. This is Jay Dyer's much vaunted, much sought after Philosophy 101. Now, he just got this page up. We are just testing it out. You guys are some of the first people in the world to see it. I want to say, for my part, it's not Philosophy 101. I think this is a mistitling. I really think of it as like Philosophy Unleashed, because a Philosophy 101 course, they give you kind of some useless information that you can't make sense of. Jay actually lays out over 12 weeks, dozens and dozens of hours put into just the presentation of this, let alone the hundreds and thousands of hours of research that it takes to have a coherent evolution and history of the origins of philosophy, the uses of philosophy, the different ways to look at it over time, and how that has been brought about to what we have today, which is almost an absence of philosophy on the objective logic and reason side, and an overabundance of woke philosophy that is irrational, is made up day by day as people are like, I think we should bring racism back, and then here's a justification, and then it gets wokeified and spread out, and then all of a sudden you have a bunch of communist, socialist ideas where you become the property in action. You need to be able to stand your own ground. It helps to have a foundation in philosophy, because it's a method to find truth. When you get down to it, philosophy is there because you love truth enough to go and learn how to find it, because it's valuable. So if you're interested in things like that, there is the landing page. We'll link it up in the notes.
All right, let's get back to yeah. Now I'm not familiar with this. This is interesting. The Weeknd Save Your Tears. So it looks like he's playing. He looks like a damn Bogdanov. He got bogged hardcore with whatever's going on with brother's face right there. But he's in a trad cat chapel, right? He's full on bogged. And they're doing like a full on Eyes Wide Shut thing in the church. That's pretty hardcore. I saw a woman in a Eyes Wide Shut mask. Where'd she go at? Where'd she go at? Yeah, so we got a straight up Eyes Wide Shut dinner party inside of a trad cat chapel. What's the symbolism though? So then it turns into something else. He's gonna, I don't know what that's supposed to mean. Oh, y'all weren't even seeing that. My bad. Yeah, so basically he's playing inside a trad cat chapel, but then it turns into an Eyes Wide Shut dinner party, and then it, I don't know what else is, so other than just Eyes Wide Shut-ish imagery, what else is going on in here? Storm the Cat, $5. Death Band Grips. The band Death Grips released an album on the same day as an event in England. The length of the album matches the time of the event, and I would say that's coincidence. I don't think the timing of a full playlist on an album is intended. There's a video that talks about it. Yeah, I think that's a stretch. James Fedge, $10, but thank you for that support. The charismatic Christians, we think that's a delusion. If you read Orthodoxy and Religion of the Future, there's a good critique of charismaticism in that book. They are brutally Gnostic. Correct. They see tongues as a manifestation of an esoteric elite of those only baptized in the Holy Spirit. Correct. I think it is a kind of a form of that. Again, it's not new. The Montanists were the early church heretics that Tertullian ended up leaving the church to become a Montanist. And the Montanists followed Montanus, who said he was the incarnation of the Holy Spirit, and that he could just sort of, through the immediate dictation of the inspiration of the Holy Spirit, become a new oracle. And they would have these charismatic manifestations amongst them. So all the way back to the 2nd century, people have been acting in this bizarre way. Petrogard, $5. My aunt got thrown to the beaver moon. Now I'm in prison with shaved arms and I ain't got no shirt. Well, pull up your shirt. Let's see your tum-tum. All right, like Jim Bob says, let's see your tummy. Pull up your shirt. Then we'll decide if you are fit to be in Wes Watson's clique, baby. Remember to head on over to the Eventbrite. Get your link here in the show description and in the chat. Get your tickets to our June 22nd event. Also, was there anything else I was going to show you guys? Oh, is there crazy stuff in this Jimmy Fallon video? So they're having Christmas dinner and then everything goes crazy or something. All right. This is, what, is this just supposed to be funny? I don't know. I don't remember. I thought this was, oh, I'm thinking of that MTV clip where at Christmas everything turned into like a satanic blood fest or something. Anyway. You can also get my books, guys. Remember, signed copies over at the website. Meta-Narratives, my 2 books on Hollywood. The red book was back-ordered. It should be here in the next few days. So if you're waiting on your red book, it will eventually get here. Oh, the one last video I wanted to show you guys. Kesha's Die Young actually is pretty full of some esoteric Crowleyan-ish things as well. I'll show you what I mean. And the whole theme of the video is basically just live for pleasure and hedonism because, you know, life is short. But you might think, well, okay, that's enough, isn't it? No, actually, so they go into a town, a Mexican village, and they go to the Catholic Church. So we have again, an inversion of Catholicism, of Christianity, Orthodoxy as well. The imagery is all pyramids, up and down, but it's not just pyramids. What do you see there? Oh, interesting. An inverted cross. Yes. An inverted cross, which appears multiple times throughout the video. So the whole point of the video, there is Kesha's eye on top of the uncapped pyramid. Pyramids, pyramids, pyramids everywhere. Pyramids on top of pyramids. The inverted pink pyramid, which is a Skittles symbol. They, inside the church, actually have a ORGY. It's implied in the video because they're in actually where the bishop's chair would be. But this is, I guess, more of a Anton LaVey's bishop's chair, isn't it? So she's over here dancing. The guys have inverted crosses on their face, what it appears to be. Now, the upwards pentagram is a protection positive symbol. It represents man. But there's not just the upwards, pentacle, excuse me. There's also a very fascinating image that pops up. Now, all kinds of different religious symbols pop up throughout the video. But the most interesting is the very end, where the feds come, because the feds want to stop Kesha's rave inside the church, right? Her ORGY rave. And as she's walking out, there's a very interesting symbol above her gluteus maximus. Can you see that? Why would there be right over her ANUS an all-seeing eye? Well, did you know that in Crowleyanism, the booty hole is the all-seeing eye? That is the Eye of Horus. And in ritual SEX magic, you are tapping into interplanetary deities and other dimensions through that pathway. I think Kenneth Grant also speaks of this in his Trans-Ugothian magic as well. So did you know about that in the Typhonian order, that the areas of the body correspond to pathways and planets? And there you see Kesha with her Crowleyan butte hole, all-seeing eye. So I didn't want to leave you guys without that one. That was just an honorable mention. A dishonorable mention. It's not the most esoteric. It does have quite a bit of religious imagery all throughout the video, but it's all just kind of thrown in there in a big, glitchy, vomited spew that doesn't really have any coherent message except that her Crowleyan rave is shut down. So anyway, there's that. I forgot about that. So those are my top 10 pop or top 5 pop esoteric symbol videos. Hope you guys had fun. If you would hit like and share, put down in the comments beneath this what music videos you think are particularly symbolic and worth analyzing and decoding, like we did tonight.